Hello, Gary Hernandez here, and welcome to King Self-Defense with Master Gary Hernandez. Before we start this video, I want to say thank you to everybody that reached out to me last month to see how I was doing. I had surgery, everything went well. I'm back at 100%. So thank you, everybody, for reaching out and checking on me. Thank you to all my students for being patient while I was out for a little bit, but we are back at it again. Okay, in this video, I talked about, in the last video, I talked about how I'm going to be showing each of the different kind of canes out there and the best ways that I feel you can use them. Well, this video, I want to do this for people that are brand new to the cane or people that haven't had a chance to really get a lot of training in yet. But I want to talk about the best areas to strike. Now, I'm going to speak for me. As I'm getting older, I'm losing the speed and I'm losing the power as I get older. I mean, I'm still pretty quick and still pretty strong, but I'm not with the same strength or speed that when I was in my 20s, obviously. So as I get older, I'm going to have to start changing my power levels of where I hit to go into better areas that are going to be more target enriched. And also for speed, and I've talked about this in the past, if I start to lose a little bit of my speed, I'm going to start going more trickier, stealthier, just downright dirty sleight of hand to where I can fake them out and go into a better area to hit. So with that said, let's talk about the best areas to strike on the human body. Now, again, we're using a cane, so we're not using our fist, we're not using our feet. So we're using a solid piece of wood, or if you have a metal cane, whatever you're going to use to strike with. Now I'm going to break this body down into 3 different zones. First off, you have a high, a middle, and a low. So let's talk about that. Obviously, right off the bat, the head. Let's just say it for what it is. If you hit somebody strong and hard enough, there's a very high chance of killing them because, no, it is not the DMOC touch that you hit somebody and they kill and they die. What it is blunt trauma, okay? It's just blunt trauma, boom, brain swells, brain floats in there, you hit them, they fall down, hit their head, and they're done. You need to have a 100% good reason why you're striking somebody that hard, and there's a chance that you might end up in court facing, a murder charge, and we don't want that. But there's ways to slow our strength down a little bit and stun them. So with that said, let's talk about the head. Remember, when you're training and you're learning to punch somebody, with your hands, you never want to punch somebody in the teeth because you're going to bust your knuckles open, cut your teeth up. I mean, their teeth are going to cut your knuckles up. And you never want to punch somebody in the head because it's like a bowling ball, you're going to break your hand. Well, you don't have to sweat it with a cane. So if I'm striking to the side and I want to ease my power down and kind of stun somebody, again, that's if your life's on the line, I'm not telling you to do that. Some of the target areas that are the most effective, but also can be the most dangerous, you have the temple, you have the ear, and you have the jawline. Temple's obviously going to be the worst of the case because, you can hit somebody and kill them. If I'm going to swing at somebody to get them off me and swing into their head, I'm going to go toward the ear if I'm swinging this way. Why? Number one, if I hit it, it's going to knock the equilibrium out of them, and it's going to get them to go back. Number two, you got to remember something. You train at your school, you train anywhere you're training, you're in a controlled, comfortable, safe environment. The minute you carry your butt outside, all that went south for the winter. So something happens, even though your training is going to kick in, you're nervous, they're nervous, you could be scared, you could be anxious, and then everything kind of is not 100% going to be accurate. So I try to go for the ear, so if I do hit it, great. I got my target enriched area. If I'm off about an inch or so, I'm still hitting something. Because remember, it's not my hand, it's a cane. Another area coming to the side is hitting them right in the neck. Boom. Hitting them right here. It's going to make them fold up and go down. Whether it doesn't matter whether I'm coming this way or swinging like this. Now, on a straight shot, I'm not going to use my tip. And this is a personal preference. This is me. I know a lot of people like to put that tip right in the face. They want to jam it in the face. They want to come in. And that's great. And you're in your school practicing this, and you're sitting here and you're doing this. You're doing this, 90 out of 100 times. That's great. In the street, you're moving, they're moving, and all of a sudden you go to do that, and you're just a half inch off, or you hit and skip them. So I like coming in with the crook. I'll come in with the crook because it's bigger. So now I have a bigger area for a smaller target. Doesn't matter whether it's a derby style or whether it's a traditional or whether it's got traditional with a palm rest like the Shadow Hawk. Boom, right in. So, and the same for the throat. I'll use it right into the throat because it's kind of like hitting them with an open hand. Good solid strike. And you can hit them, you don't have to try to break, their whole trachea, but they're going to gag them out and get them back. The back of the head, catch them around the back of the head, clunk them. Again, but be careful. It depends if your life's on the line. That's all I can tell you. This is a dangerous area when we're striking somebody. So, but swinging or coming in, those are my areas. Now, let's talk about the collarbone. We're still up here, still at the top level. Coming down on the collarbone. Doesn't matter if I'm coming down with the shaft or the crook. Yes, there is a chance to break that bone, it pops into that vein, they bleed out. But you don't have to hit them at Mach 2. You can just come down, hit that thing, injure it, make them go back, give you time to do something. So the collarbones make for another good shot. Now, especially if it's somebody wearing a motorcycle helmet and you don't have an option, then you can go if you're going to go for the head, you're going to have to go for neck or collar. Let's go to level 2, the mid. This is where I will use my tip to come straight in. Now I'm going to use the tip. Why? Because I have such a wide area, and if I'm off a little bit, I'm going to bite into something. You can still come in with your crook as well. That doesn't mean you can't. But I like using the tip here because it makes this more concentrated to when it hits. It's kind of like that knuckle versus that fist. And I try to go for the solar plex so I can knock the wind out of them. And if I'm off a little bit, I'm still biting something. The stomach's another good one too. Bellying them up without a doubt. So when you're doing your shot straight in, those are my two, solar plex or stomach. Swinging to the side in level 2, there is the ribs. The ribs. Even if I'm coming in using the crook or coming in using the tip with a 2-hand bayonet or single thrust in there to get them off me. So the ribs are definitely going to do a lot of damage. Now, the hands go down. That doesn't mean I still can't go to that area. Remember how I talked about I want to hit more in target-rich areas? The jointed areas are one of the best. If I'm swinging and I catch that elbow, it's going to hurt. If I catch that wrist, it's going to hurt. Don't get me wrong, bicep area and the forearms, that's still going to hurt. But there's some beefy big guys out there. There's some big heavy guys out there. So that may stun them, but it may not do some damage that you want. But if you can catch that elbow just right, and again, remember, it may not be because you're moving around. You're excited moving, they're excited moving. So you may be off a little bit, but you're still biting into these arms. Obviously, the back, you got, into the kidney areas, it's hitting them around. But when you play around, especially down in the spinal area, remember, anything that's going to cripple somebody or kill somebody or put them in a chair for life, it's going to come back and bite you in court. So you need to really think about why you're defending yourself. Best thing to do really with your cane when you want to defend yourself is walk away. That's your best. Obviously, don't turn your back. Turn like this and walk away. Now, let's get down to the third and last level. From the pelvic, the hip area down. Now, let's talk about the pelvic area. Yes, I can come straight into it, and I can hit it with the crook as well. I can just catch it. Boom. I can catch the side of the hip area, cause injury. I can swing into the hip or pelvic area and hurt them. Moving down, I have the legs. Now, catch somebody in the shin, whether it's the front of the shin or the side of the shin, that does hurt. Catch them in the upper thigh, it can hurt too. But then again, there's some big, strong, burly guys out there that may just kind of slow them down a little bit, hopefully. The knee, to me, is one of the best spots to hit somebody. First off, either front or side. Once I hit that knee and I'm moving around, I catch that knee. Two things. A, if I hit it just right, they go down. B, if I'm off a couple of inches high or low, I still bite into something. Remember, you're moving, they're moving. Nothing's going to be 100% accurate. You're hitting a bag all day long. Your bag might be bouncing around a little bit, but that person's moving and circling. Last one, Big Al in the twins, the groin. You know, what do? We always want to kick somebody in the groin. Now I have my cane, so I come in and I pop Big Al in the twin in the groin. When I hit that in there, I need to pull that out really, really fast. Whether I strike and pull it down, or whether I strike and pull it back so I can come in with something else. Do not get your cane caught up in their groin area. Why? When you hit them, A, if they start to fall forward, they're going to reach out and try to hang on to you. And now you're stuck with them. B, if you hit them, if they just drop automatically, they fell and got locked up on your cane. So when you come in and you strike that area, pull it out, turn at an angle, see which way they go, and nail them. So top level, mid level, low level. Think of target-enriched areas. Eyes, mouth, well, pretty much anywhere in the head's going to be a target-enriched area. But if you don't have a lot of strength, ears, eyes, nose, throat, collarbone, solar plex, stomach, jointed areas, wrist, elbows, in the back, kidneys, hips, knees, shins, groin. Those are your areas for swinging and for striking. I talked about in the last video I did how I'm going to use different canes, whether it's a crook, straight cane, and I'll show you guys how to work them, manipulate them, and we'll be hitting those certain target areas with them as well. But right now, that's just a quick area to give you an idea of what you want to start working and practicing on. And don't forget multiple strikes. You come in, hit that collarbone, go into that knee. High, low, high, anywhere you want to go. So hopefully that stuff helps. If you get an opportunity, please subscribe to the channel. I am trying to bring it back and grow it some more. And if you like this, please hit like. If you have questions, ask me. You can also contact me at the school. We do have our regular cane classes here on site as well as we also have Zoom classes that we do with students from international as well as overseas. But again, thank you very much for all your support while I was out last month. I do appreciate that from everybody. It meant a lot to me. Gary Hernandez, thank you very much, and I will see you guys real soon. Good night.